Reality redemption. No, I think we're cursed lately with these equipment issues. It's something new every week.
I don't know what your problem is.
It's like always gremlins. So, it's a bad year in comedy. You know, and not just because so much going on, nothing's really funny, but a couple days ago we lost Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, so sad too.
Affleck.
I know. I liked his squinty eyes and his voice.
You know why the squinty eyes? You know how that came about?
Huh.
Was because when he first started in comedy, he had such stage fright, he would close his eyes and he would turn his back to the crowd. Oh. And that's what he got known for. So that's why he squints his eyes. Well, that's why he did squint his eyes.
Did he have stage fright because of the way that he talked? And he thought that people would...
No. Learning more about him since he passed away, I think he was a really kind of shy person. Very reserved, like when he wasn't on stage.
You know, Don Rickles was like that too. There was like a quote from him where it's like, I was extremely shy, so it's something like he had to force himself to not be shy.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was like that too growing up.
You know, Gilbert, I don't know if you remember him getting in trouble right after 9/11 because he did one of those roasts. And he got up there and said, yeah, I was trying to fly to L.A., but the only one I could fly was they wanted to make a stop at the Empire State Building, which the crowd absolutely went, boo.
The Empire State Building didn't get hit, though.
The point being is, flying into building
it was
jokes.
New York?
2 weeks. And he was just like, hey, we got to laugh again, eventually.
I know. Okay, for me, I can only speak for myself, but for me, situations like that make me really uncomfortable. So I always try to find something funny about what makes you uncomfortable in order to get over it. Like, that's kind of how I view comedy, but I can't speak for everyone. I mean,
yeah,
I guess we all heal in different ways.
Yeah, so Gilbert joins Bob Saget, who we lost earlier this year. And you hear about that? Like, he hit his head so hard. They were saying, like, the injury was the same as if you took a baseball bat to the back of your head. But still somehow he just managed to get up, crawl to bed, and passed away in his sleep.
Well, that happened to, remember Liam Neeson's wife, Natasha Richardson?
Ski accident.
Right, but she hit her head, though. And it was like, they thought she was okay because they thought she just hit her head, but then she died later.
Oh, man. Louis Anderson and Norm Macdonald. Norm, I love Norm. His Weekend Update. He was the funniest one on Weekend Update. Because
the way he talks.
He'd tell a joke, and if it bombed, he would kind of just laugh at himself. Like he was the only one that found it funny.
Didn't he also be like, oh no one else? like he was like trying to get people to laugh at his jokes too.
Like, really?
I know. Really? You guys didn't like that one, huh? Okay.
And he had the best impression when he did Bob Dole. That was hilarious. You'd hold the pencil in his hand.
Uh-huh.
You don't remember that?
No, I remember that. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was like spacing because I was thinking of I liked the one where wasn't he the one that did the Jeopardy one? Like, was he Awesome Bill from Dawsonville?
I think so, yeah.
And like Burt Reynolds too.
Yes, he was Burt Reynolds.
We got off on track. We got more talking about Norm Macdonald than Gilbert.
Yeah, and so Gilbert, Affleck Duck, he got fired for being the Affleck Duck because of jokes he told.
I know.
And then they replaced him, and people didn't like the new Affleck Duck because Affleck Duck didn't have the same voice.
Yeah, he didn't sound like a duck. I mean,
so
Gilbert Godfrey had a great voice.
So they tried to bring him back, but he said, no, fuck you guys. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. then he had a funny joke. I was listening to an old Opie radio show, and he played a clip of Norm, and he made a joke about his kids, and if he was like in Sophie's Choice, it would have been a short movie because he would have had.
He would have thrown both of them.
No, he knew he would turn in.
He knew he would what?
He knew which one he would turn in because he said, "I have a favorite."
Oh, he wouldn't have the.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
I thought you meant he'd be like, get rid of both of them. I don't want either one.
It's kind of only fitting, like the leader of Zelensky in the Ukraine is actually was a stand-up comedian.
I know. I still need to look up his stuff. I want to see if he was like super funny too, like or I don't know. How have you tried to look any of it up?
I don't know. I wouldn't understand it because he's probably speaking in Ukraine.
I mean, but could you get it with subtitles on the bottom?
What language is Ukraine, anyways? Is it Ukraine?
I think it's Ukrainian. Like, I think it's close to Russian, but like.
I had to turn off I had to just stop watching the news because I just can't stand watching, stories about kids being blown up all the time.
Oh, I know. It's terrible. And the fact that with the train station, they sent the missiles that they even printed on the side of the missile for the children, but in Russia, in Russian.
Fuck.
Like, gross.
So to revisit for the last time, hopefully we promise the Will Smith
oh my God.
saga.
I know, I'm so sick of talking about this, but
this came out, I found this
so many different angles.
after the last episode, and it totally changed my mind about what happened.
You know, Esther Perot is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me
Oh my goodness.
if you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Because she don't just...
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused in one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not,
Pay him?
don't just start rolling. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch us stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you?
Okay, now, even if I wasn't a celebrity like Will Smith, if my girlfriend was filming me for a TikTok and I was just like not into it and like, no, don't film me, I would expect her not to film me.
Right, like respect your wishes. My thing from listening to it is, does she do these Instagram, or it's Instagram, right? That she does her red table or red talk or whatever it is. Is she hoping to like get her own, are these like basically like audition tapes to get her own talk show? Is that what the deal is here? Why would you do this?
Drew Barrymore or whatever, whoever the latest talk show, Kelly Clarkson.
She trying to be the next Ellen?
I don't know. But then she also had that other one where she interviews Will on her, I'm going to say quote unquote show because I don't really know what it is.
It's Red Table or Red Talk or Red something.
But she interviews him and she's talking about the affair she had with this 29-year-old. And he just sits there and just takes it. He looked like he was going to cry.
And then she like shifts blame to him and says, like you had your affair or affairs too, but it seemed like from his reaction, it seemed like he did it like out of spite. Like, okay, I didn't, that wasn't what I wanted to do, but you have changed the dynamic of this marriage to what you wanted it to be.
So their open marriage was kind of one-sided open marriage until...
Well, it's not like he didn't participate. Let's not, disclose that. But I've had friends before who are swingers or whatever, have open marriages, and apparently there's like rules to it. I mean, they didn't get into it, but one time I remember the comment, one of them was pissed off at the other one and was like, there's rules for this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is getting to me.
No.
Like, wait, I guess to me, my opinion, like the best way to handle an open marriage, or the best way to get an open marriage, wouldn't that just be get a divorce? Because couldn't you?
Or don't get married in the first place.
Well, no, but I understand. Okay, they got married. Because they were super in love at one point, and then whatever, things happened. But it's like, couldn't you, if you were in a marriage and you weren't happy, and they're like, yeah, but we love each other, we want to stay together, blah, 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 or we still like having sex with each other. Well, why couldn't you just get a divorce and then still fuck your ex if you want? I
don't know. I mean, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors with them, and
I don't either.
The more you hear about, the more you're just like, all right, I'm done with this. I don't want to hear it anymore.
I'm just trying to say, like, I'm just looking at it from like, because I don't understand open marriages. I'm like, why not just get a divorce and still fuck each other then? I don't know.
You think he slapped Chris Rock so hard because that was just all of his frustration? Like, he just wanted to... You could see it in his eyes in that video of the clip we just played when she was filming him. You could see it was like, yeah, turn that camera off. You think that was all that aggression finally? He was just like, ah!
I don't know. It wasn't fair, though. Like, it still shouldn't have been, like, you still should not lose your control over on somebody else who has nothing to do with it, who's just doing a roast-type joke at an Oscars event.
And now,
give me a break.
And now Will Smith is banned from the Oscars for 10 years, which is really, it's nothing. So you don't get to go to this award show, which is boring.
They already boycotted it themselves before, so I don't really think that it's a big deal either.
I'll say the only thing that I care about watching the Oscars, and I don't really watch it, I'm just like, I look at the end, who won Best Picture. I go back the next day, and all I do is I watch the YouTube clips of the comedians roasting the celebrities.
Yeah.
That's the only part I'm interested in.
And the only important thing for getting banned the year before is now who's going to introduce next year's Best Actress Oscar. Doesn't
Chris Rock.
Typically, the Best Actor winner usually introduces the new Best Actress and vice versa. But that's the only thing I can think of what you'd be missing out on.
I guess get Martin Lawrence to do it next year.
I don't know.
Bad Boys.
Oh, yeah, could be.
The funniest thing, though, I heard this week was the Jimmy Kimmel against Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, geez.
And then she called the Capitol Police on him. And then Matt Gaetz defended her. And
I know, it's like, shut up. Why would you... People already don't like you. I mean, I get that the Republicans all love you. They don't care that you have allegedly had sex with underage girls. But the rest of us, it's like, I don't want to hear from you. I really, the less you talk, I wish you would have resigned. But you have chosen not to because you're creepy.
And Matt Gaetz was kind of like, well, no, you were serious, Jimmy Kimmel. You wanted to
how does Matt
have
Gaetz
violence against a woman.
How does Matt Gaetz get to decide what Jimmy Kimmel was thinking and that he wasn't telling a joke? How did they get to decide that? How's it like, no, I'm going to tell you what the comedian actually, or anyone, I'm going to tell you what somebody else meant by what they said. What?
Yeah, and I love Kimmel's response was Kimmel pretty much said, hey, I'm paraphrasing, but somebody keep an eye on Matt Gaetz because it's Girl Scout cookie season.
Right? which is true.
Which is, it's a good joke.
Cookie. That's a great joke.
But...
Will Matt Gaetz be filing a suit against a bad joke too?
Yeah.
Or
because
it was a good joke, but I mean, he would probably consider it a bad one.
Although, this podcast is getting heard. We're starting to get some attention. And not only was Marjorie's attention directed at Jimmy Kimmel. I received this voicemail to one of our social media accounts. Okay, let me pull it up here.
This is Marjorie Traylor Gray. I've got a bone to pick with you, Reality Redemption. First off, I don't believe or live in reality because I follow Q. And second, redemption is for sinners. I got sucked into listening to y'all's podcast because I heard there was someone named Snow on the show. And so I thought this was going to be a podcast promoting the white race.
What?
Turns out, Snow is a feminist. The worst kind of woman. MJ,
Okay.
I don't even know why you'd want to hang out with a woman that doesn't ask for your permission to talk.
Huh.
Ladies, you need to do what your husbands tell you. They know what's better for you because we are made from their ribs. Like, I don't even put a tampon in without asking my husband's permission first.
Wow.
And another thing, y'all need to keep Gates' name out your mouth. He's one of my best friends. In fact,
Is this a threat?
he's at my house right now. Hold on a second.
Shit, I wish I could
Matt?
get the phone.
Matt, I told you, if you're going to be in my daughter's room, the doors need to stay open.
Jeez.
Anyways, I'm just letting y'all know I'm
House
filing a
rules.
police report on y'all with the Capitol Police. So y'all better watch your mouth.
Oh.
Do we follow the
We're-
jurisdiction of
are
the
we
Capitol
gonna be-
Police?
Are we going to be in legal troubles
Oh,
now?
man.
MJ, we're in trouble.
It's a good thing we don't make any money on this.
I know. Are we
Who's gonna
supposed to
sue us?
lawyer up? Whoa.
Oh, God.
Unhinged.
She's become like our favorite foe. She took over for the other guy, the 45 guy.
Oh, God. Yeah. Whose name shall not be repeated.
We don't even talk about him anymore, so say thanks.
But
Marjorie.
strangely enough, it is her Lord and Savior, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, wouldn't it go, it's usually God's Guns, and there's another G word, God's Guns.
No, I thought it was
God-
God's Guns, and Country. But I've seen the flag
GGC.
that says God, Guns, and Trump. There's that flag that they're buying now.
It'd be Trump, God, Guns, Country. Now.
No, okay, yeah, but
No, you don't think, okay, not all Republicans. I have to put that disclaimer on every episode. Don't you think that they hold Trump in higher regards than Jesus Christ?
I don't know. According to their flag, though, it's like it says God, Guns, and Trump. So I took that as, okay, the normal saying is God, Guns, and Country. So I'm like, do they just think this is the United States of Trump now? I'm like, this is, or we live in Trump-erica. I don't know.
And somebody get a hold of our podcast and hit us up on social media, Reality Redemption on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And tell us, does this happen in your town? Do you have those crappy pop-up stands that sell these god-awful flags? Let's go Brandon flags or fuck
And-
Brandon flags.
Rumored
Trump-
to also sell the
Right,
Russian
before-
flags, too, at
Rumored
them.
to sell the Russian flags.
We
sell
still haven't
Confederate
confirmed that,
flags.
right?
We haven't confirmed that.
The Russian flags. They do definitely sell the Confederate flags, any and all of the various Trump flags, the fuck Bidens.
Yeah.
And I think they do, the Blue Lives Matter flags.
Yeah.
And then I think for good measure, they all still sell the classic American flag just to pretend that their patriotism is true.
So, and this is going to tie in, and I don't know what kind of political affiliation the New York City subway shooter had. They say he was kind of a conspiracy theorist, but it was a 60-year-old black man, which I guess doesn't really fit the profile. But he also was saying some stuff about the current mayor of New York City.
Oh, Eric Adams?
Yeah. So, and that's kind of a liberal guy. So I really haven't seen the videos and seen what the guy was so angry at. But the point being is, and people are like, if you read the comments on Handy, I don't know why I follow Handy on Facebook. I guess it's just to see what the other side says. And I read the comments about this shooting, and it's all like, oh, well, this is due to open borders, and this is due to being soft on crime in New York City. And New York has strict gun laws, and this is because of that, and that's all the reason that this happened. And everybody's jumping these conclusions like they know what's happened before the suspect was even caught.
Shouldn't he have been more mad at the new New York governor for giving the $1 billion subsidy for the new Buffalo Bills stadium? I mean, what?
Well,
That was a joke.
Yeah, but that was because they didn't want the Bills to move to Toronto or something like that.
You know what? I'm sick and tired of the subsidies, though. Yes, it was the owners who are worth $6 or $7 billion with a B dollars. Buy your own fucking stadium. Why do the taxpayers have to buy these stadiums anyways? The NFL is the richest sports organization in the entire world. Not just United States, world.
It's because they can, because these cities want to keep this football team in their city. Now,
it's bullshit, though.
Now, with my New England Patriots, okay, I hate that the Patriots it's kind of a...
But they're only moving the Bills across the street. That's what they said.
Yeah, because they want to
What do
keep
they need
Buffalo.
a new... But they suck. They don't need a new stadium.
Well, that stadium's kind of outdated. And I think they want to make it more weather friendly because the weather in Buffalo is horrible in December. But I think that was what makes playing in Buffalo good.
Then buy a canopy for the top of it.
Okay. But this is what happened to the Patriots, though. The owners previous to Robert Kraft, who bought the team, they were going to sell it to this group in St. Louis because St. Louis got state funding to build a stadium. And the Patriots were just a hair away from moving to St. Louis. Well, Robert Kraft stepped up, and he owns Gillette. That's why they call it Gillette Stadium. And what he said is, no, I've been a lifelong fan for years. I have all these billions.
Doesn't he also own Kraft Foods?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know if it's Kraft from Kraft Foods. I would have to research. I know he owns Gillette, 'cause that's why it's Gillette Stadium.
Okay.
But anyway, the point being is he loved the football team so much and he could afford it. He just went out and he bought the team. A few years later, he built Gillette Stadium from Foxborough, which it was a glorified high school stadium before the Patriots moved.
With his own money, he built the stadium?
Yeah.
See, why can't everyone be like Robert Kraft then? These people who own a sports team, it's not like they're hurting for money.
No.
And here's the thing. Once they build those stadiums, they make all that money back within the first few years, maybe even the first year, because the ticket prices are sky high. And then if you go and buy, how much does a beer cost in there? At least $11.
Right.
And I think those are for the smaller ones. I think if you get the bigger ones, it's closer to $20 that you're paying for one beer.
Yeah. Plus, you sell the seat licenses, so it's hard to get tickets to these games because you sell a seat license, which you have to buy for every single game.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think that that's something that deserves a subsidy. I don't care. We had to do that. I voted against it in Arizona with the Cardinals. I voted against it when it was on our ballot. It passed. It won because John McCain wanted it. because his beer heiress wife got the rights to the stadium too, and it just generates more money for the rich that keep getting richer.
So we're talking corruption here.
I'm just
funny how that happens.
Well, plus think about the taxpayers out there who don't want anything to do with football, though. Why should they have to pay for a stadium?
Well, because they have other entertainment options that come into that stadium, like concerts and monster truck rallies. And
I've never been to the Cardinals stadium other than for a football game. I've never. I personally have never. I didn't know that they do other things there, because we have other arenas there too.
I saw you two there twice.
Oh, that was when they did their. All right, well, a band like U2 probably does need a 50,000 seat place. I'll give you that, but.
So we go from that shooting, which was horrific. So this guy lights off a bunch of fireworks in the subway. He had a gas mask, so it gets all smoky, and they just started to open fire. I think it's a good thing that as of yesterday, I heard there was no casualties, but like 16 or 29 people got shot.
Yeah, and it was because his gun jammed too. So there was a malfunction with the gun. Imagine if he had an AR-15 though, that he.
Yeah, and this guy wasn't from New York. He drove up to New York from Philadelphia. So I don't know what his issues were. I didn't research it today, but at least they caught him.
How does he think that the mayor is not tough on crime when the mayor used to be a police captain or he was, I forget exactly. The guy was the mayor has recently been on Bill Maher and explained what he did prior to becoming mayor. And it was something with law enforcement, the police department specifically.
And that was day after Biden signed the thing to outlaw executive order.
The ghost guns.
To outlaw ghost guns. And then Paul Gosar comes up and says, well, this is the most anti-Second Amendment president ever. Why is outlawing a ghost gun, a gun without serial numbers, why is that a bad thing?
Yeah, it's like, okay, to my friends across the aisle who love their guns, why would you need a ghost gun? Are you planning on committing something that you don't want traced back to you? That's the only reason why I can think a ghost gun would be good for something is you're planning something that you don't want traced back to yourself. That's why you don't want the serial numbers?
Well, and the argument is I suppose, they'll just get the guns somehow anyways. But I don't know. Any law that you try to come up with, try to prevent any of this from happening, they shoot down. And we're not anti-gun on this show. Not at all. But we look at these shootings and we think something could be done, to try to prevent this from happening again.
There has to at least be some answers that would help. I don't believe that nothing would help, so we must do nothing. I don't believe in that. I don't believe, okay, they'll come up with the argument too that guns don't kill people, people kill people. We know that, assholes. We know that. We all know that. We're all on board with that. But shouldn't there be some other fucking precautions like serial numbers so we know, so it can be traced to who did that? And if you're not committing crimes like that, if you're not going out there and murdering people because you're a good guy with a gun, then why do you care if they catch bad people? Why do you care if they catch someone bad?
Right, or
that has done something horrific? Why do you care? Are you guys sad when were you guys sad when they caught this guy? I got to look at it from all angles. I'm like, why would these people be upset with a law like this? Because what is it that you want to hide from?
Yeah. Or
What?
Or they talk about being a responsible gun owner, but then you had that 20-year-old in Victorville, and somebody shoplifted in his store, and they were running away.
So he just starts shooting.
And he was trying to shoot them in the back. Now, I don't know what kind of store he owned.
It was a shoe store.
But I seriously, okay, let's say it was a pair of sneakers they stole.
Mm-hmm.
You steal a pair of sneakers. Does that mean that that's worth taking somebody's life over a pair of sneakers?
I know, like you have to die for.
Can't you just cut that off as a business loss at the end of the year on the taxes?
Well, and can't you like? It happened in a mall. You can't call like mall security and they can stop them and you can prosecute them.
And let's say this, this is not us being the left soft on crime. Of course, try to catch the guy. I just don't think it's worth shooting at the guy and then hitting a 9-year-old in the arm.
I'm asking, okay, tough on crime or being weak on crime. I literally just asked for them to apprehend, charge, and prosecute. How is that being wimpy on crime?
Well, I guess in California, how they don't want to fill up the jails there is if it's under a certain dollar amount, they don't prosecute, which is wrong.
It is.
I'm not saying like California's not fucked up in some ways. I'm just saying I don't think a 9-year-old girl should get shot because somebody was stealing a pair of shoes.
Yeah, why does she deserve to get shot in the arm?
And if you are going to shoot at somebody and you do think it's justified to shoot somebody in the back as after they steal a pair of shoes or whatever they stole, then sit there, man up, and said, "This is why I did it. I was protecting my property."
Don't run off to Las Vegas.
Don't run off to Las Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which means to tell me the gun probably was illegal. Yeah, don't know, but why would you run?
Because you realized that it was wrong after your state of anger. I think that's why he ran. He could very well be a legal gun owner, but I mean, if I had to think about why he would decide to flee, is he's like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have done that, but in my rage, I didn't even think about that. I thought about the $20 shoes that they had stolen from me. Because it sounded like a real cheap shoe store. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't like a Foot Locker or a...
So it's like a Payless?
No, it wasn't a Payless, but it was like one of those like shoe barn or something like that,
I see we research things.
I did know the name, but I forgot it now.
Anyway, my point being is I think we're getting so used to being angry all the time in this country. And I'm not saying CNN didn't try to ruffle feathers during the last administration and they would say stuff, oh, look what Trump did today, to rile up the left. But the left really they don't get angry.
I think that it's that.
I'm talking like that anger where you have to wear a fuck Biden shirt around all day.
Well,
and you have
to be
fair,
fair,
a big fuck.
To be fair, there were a lot of people that did the whole fuck Trump thing too.
Yeah, but we didn't wear T-shirts and.
I saw T-shirts not as prevalent as. These guys who are like, look, I have a cuss word on my shirt. Aren't I cool? And it's always these fucking baby boomers are the ones wearing it. I don't see younger people in it. But I think it's a combination of anger and I think a lot of Americans are entitled, spoiled brats. I will say it. Like, it's like, you did this to me. I live in a country where I can do whatever I want. And they don't realize that, no, you can't. We do still have laws here. Yes, we are the freest country in the world, but we still have a set of laws. It doesn't mean that you can do whatever. I think it's also under education too. Like they don't realize, no, you can't behave like this. And then you throw anger on top of all this. They're going to do whatever they want.
Well, it's also social media because.
Well, yeah, that's what gets the anger flowing.
Right.
And then there's the whole thing that's
feeds
like
into your anger and.
Right. It's a constant feeding every day, like how you have to feed your body or whatnot, you know? So it's a constant feeding. And then they're like, but I should be able to do whatever I want. Like, look at all the anti-maskers, you know? Why should I have to wear it? Why should I have to give a fuck about anyone but myself? I live in America. I'm free. I don't care if this person dies, you know? Like, it's just everyone seems to be, not everyone, I shouldn't say that. I should stop generalizing like that. But there's a percentage of people who are just so self-focused. And it's like, I don't know if it's more people are becoming to where they cannot see another person's perspective. They do not understand empathy.
Right.
I don't know if we're getting more people like this because of the anger.
It's less empathetic. I mean, we can even go to the example of, we'll approach the subject again, where people were feeling like Will Smith was justified in slapping Chris Rock.
Right.
Okay? And it's not a left or right thing. But no, there's no right to put your hands on somebody else and get physically violent with another person, especially over words.
Yes, because there are laws against that. Then it turns into crimes. Even though he did not want to press charges, it's still a crime.
And it not only, well, the point being is the media fuels this. Because the media, what do they want? They want attention.
They want ratings.
They want ratings. They want attention. How are you going to get the attention of certain people? You feed into their anger that they already have. Your guy, your election was quote unquote stolen. Okay, you're angry about that. You're angry that your guy isn't in office anymore. I sort of get that. Not the election was stolen because it's been proven time and again that wasn't stolen. But what do you hear? What's the common rhetoric that you hear on a certain TV station, news? Well, they're registered as an entertainment channel.
Oh, the one that starts with an F?
Yeah.
And ends with an X?
Yeah. Open borders. That's all you hear. The borders are open. Immigrants are just pouring across the border.
So there's probably been like a billion that have come over since the Biden administration.
And they say thousands every day.
Every day. It's up to the billions by now, huh?
Truth be told, there may be more people coming to the border than ever before. True. The border isn't technically open. Like, if we went to Mexico right now, if the border was open, you wouldn't stop. Right? They would just have it open. You would just drive on through. Come on through. Come on. Biden says it's just come on. And that's not the case. Okay? Just because it's reality redemption, okay, I had to look it up. I'm like, is that true? What has changed in the policies since the Biden administration started? And he did try to do some stuff, with... making sure DACA, the kids that were already here, would be protected from getting, shipped out.
Mm-hmm.
But there are 460,000 people waiting to receive green cards and other immigration statuses to be approved. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, but in this article. Okay. During the Trump administration, they put a cap on refugees at 15,000, okay, which was decreased from, these are facts, from 85,000 before Trump, okay? Maybe that is true. We do have overcrowding situations. Maybe we do need to slow down the amount of people trying to immigrate here, okay? Yeah, I said it, okay?
Okay.
Maybe that pleases the right. Okay, Biden kept that cap at 15,000. Okay, he didn't
Okay.
increase it.
He has not changed it.
Now, some of the people that are more pro-immigration thought that he should raise it,
Okay.
but he did not raise it.
He said, no, I'm keeping it at 15,000.
Okay.
So it is still at 15,000.
Okay, no, so they raised it to 62,500 per year. Okay, but according to the fiscal year 2021, refugee admissions totaled just 11,411.
So it has not been a billion people like they
No.
make it seem. There's not a
No.
billion
Okay.
immigrants coming here.
Okay, and this is
Just to clarify, folks, that we do
People.
not have a billion
people.
in here.
I printed this out. Okay, these are
Okay.
these are solid numbers.
So it's only 11,411.
Right. Now,
Okay. Not a billion.
Okay, granted, people do cross the border at night. We'll give you that. Do they slip through the cracks? Absolutely. That happens.
Okay, so I have a quick question. Knowing what we know about the ones who are actually there's been numbers done on them, which totals 11,411.
Process.
Do you think that the other ones that come at night could equal 1 billion?
No.
I don't think so either. So just so you folks know, the amount from 11,000 roughly, a little over 11,000 to 1 billion. That's quite a jump.
Yeah, and like Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, wanted to. He said, "Well, I'll show Biden. I'm just going to throw them, these illegal immigrants, on a bus and send them to D.C." Well, that would be kidnapping. So
Mhm.
what they did was they relocated illegal immigrants who had families in the D.C. area. And you know where they dropped them off? In front of the Fox News building. Why? Publicity stunt.
Oh, I'm sure.
To rile up Fox. Or maybe Fox.
So
News
they could
travel.
probably film them out there.
Film them. Yeah, look
They'd
at
be
what
like,
Biden.
look at all of these.
Look at how Abbott stuck it to Joe
Look at
Biden.
all of these immigrants that came in.
This one busload.
That's it? It was only one busload?
Yes. Yes. Which is maybe, 50 people?
That's what I was going to say. Those tour buses don't hold that many. I don't even think they hold 100.
So the other thing that's coming up is Title 42, and what that was, that came under the Trump administration, and they were trying to say, well, we want to keep them at the Mexico border because of COVID. Now, certain people, COVID, no big deal. COVID's no big deal. It's nothing. It's just a flu. But at the same time, if it's an immigrant that could potentially have COVID, well, then it's a medical emergency, right? But now that COVID is winding down for now, this Title 42 is expiring. And just like all the other COVID stuff, all the COVID protocols and everything, it's coming to a close. Well, Biden's going to let that lapse. Now Republicans are saying, oh, these waves of immigrants are going to come in because Biden's rescinding a COVID thing. That this party, they didn't think COVID was a big deal in the first place unless it involves immigrants. There's a running theme here.
Racism?
We don't.
Should I not say that? But it's like, it seems to... What else do you call it? They have different angles for different things, and why does it always boil down to people of color?
No, it's no. Let's see if we know your.
Okay, explain it to me like I'm a 6-year-old then.
I
because
can't even explain it. But what's on the Statue of Liberty? Now, the Statue of Liberty is an official government document or anything like that. Yes, we realize that. But it's welcoming immigrants to Ellis Island.
right, it says, give me you're tired, you're weak, you're poor.
You're poor. Okay.
Huddled masses.
Yeah. So America was founded as an immigrant nation. We were all immigrants. If we weren't immigrants, we would be Native Americans and genocide.
And fun fact, Lady Liberty is actually modeled off of a Muslim woman.
Oh, sacrilege. Can't say that.
And can you believe they're trying to turn this place into Christian Sharia law?
Yeah. Well, that was my point. They say that America was founded on Christian values. No, it wasn't.
Religious freedoms. Are they? Do they just jump right over that First Amendment to get to the second one? To get to
I
their
think
guns?
so.
They're like, it's all about guns.
So, another thing Abbott has done, and he was all pro-truck.
Screwed everything over. Screwed his people out of electricity.
Well, everybody knows that windmills weren't designed to be run in the cold. That's a fact. Right. Right? No. No. Okay, so what he has done, not only, okay, the borders aren't open, you have to stop, of course, and you cross the Mexican border and they inspect the trucks. Well, now what Abbott has done is, further up the road, he has ordered the state police to stop and inspect the trucks again, which is creating a backlog in the trucks.
Right.
And as we learned from watching John Oliver a couple of weeks ago, these drivers do not get paid when they sit idle. Okay, you sit there, sit idle. You have to go faster to get your load in on time because that's what you get paid for. Get paid for by the mile. And usually they're owner-operators who have to pay for these trucks themselves. So now you're holding up this business. Now, what's doing more damage to the truckers? Joe Biden or policies like Abbott is doing in Texas, which is holding up the supply chain?
Right. It's also doing damage to the consumers. I can tell you like this. I now know why I couldn't get my strawberries at the grocery store.
Because they were held up at the Texas.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because isn't that where we get a lot
Yeah.
of our fruits and vegetables from?
Yeah.
And they come from Mexico.
Yeah, and they're saying in this area of the country.
And they were like, we are completely out. We don't even have substitutions. Because I still do the order my groceries and pick them up. They're like, no.
Now, I can So
fuck you, Greg Abbott.
somebody told me after our episode on truckers, and we said stupid truckers, and I had thought that we had prefaced that and said not all truckers. I thought we were just talking about the truckers doing this, convoy.
We didn't call truckers stupid.
I think we said the truckers that stopped over here in Kingman, and they were, supposedly gave them all the free pizza and the ones going to DC.
We called the ones who were participating in the convoy who were against mandates that didn't exist. We called them stupid.
Right.
Because they are stupid. They didn't realize that. Let me say this again. For whoever thinks that we didn't do this, let me make it clear to you this time. What we said was these truckers who are participating in the convoy are stupid because there are no vaccine or mask mandates for truckers in the United States. President Joe Biden came out and said that truckers are exempt from any mask or vaccine mandates because their office is basically their truck. Okay? Please don't, if you're somebody who called in, because I'll repeat it on the next show too for you if you'd like.
Yeah.
Just listen, Linda. Listen.
I was talking to a trucker, and he was telling me, owner operator, the payment on his truck is $3,000 a month. The insurance is another $1,500 a month. Okay, and then you add the price of fuel on top of that. They only get paid by their mileage. And if you haven't seen the Jolena Oliver episode from 2 weeks ago on HBO, and I think you can find the clip of it on YouTube, do yourself a favor and go watch that. Because truckers do get screwed over. And I get why some truckers are angry. A lot of truckers are angry. These ones that participated in this convoy to this anti-mandate convoy. I think their anger is just misguided.
They don't know who, they're not being pissed off at the right people.
Yeah.
Like, truckers are the backbone of America. Okay? I love and respect truckers. We all should. That's how we get our stuff. So you should love and respect truckers. Okay? I work in the transportation industry. I'm not a trucker, but I work in the trucking industry. It is one of our most important industries, and these folks have been getting screwed for years because they gutted the unions in trucking industry. So now they don't really have a voice, so they are at the mercy of these companies.
I was watching that John Oliver
who are
thing.
screwing them.
Watching this John Oliver thing, I was mad for them. I didn't realize they were getting screwed over that bad.
Right.
And if any repairs and I work in this industry, the repair industry, I know how much those repairs are.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow! You think something goes wrong on your car? That's expensive. You should see when it happens to one of those things how much it is.
Yeah, they're screwing the workers. These big corporations are screwing the workers.
And then, I guess, on our side, we're not oblivious to being angry because we hear about Roe versus Wade got turned over, in what, 74? Was that 73, 74 or something like that?
Oh, it got made into law. I think it was in 73.
It went before the Supreme Court, okay? And so a woman has the right to choose. And I don't see how now all these states can now be like Oklahoma and be like, okay, well, it can only be for a medical emergency. And he signs it in the middle of the night. And I don't even think it went before the Oklahoma Senate, did it? He just signed this proclamation or whatever.
Did he use like executive order?
Yeah,
like kind of
maybe.
what the president had? Because basically governors are presidents of the states.
Yeah, but now cases of rape and incest, you cannot have an abortion.
I cannot even fathom why they want to do this to women. Like, why would you want to force a woman to carry a child that was conceived out of rape or incest? I mean, if she chooses to do so, then okay. I mean, if she's okay with that, but there are women who don't want to do that either. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I could see both sides of it, like where, like maybe there's a woman who is so against, having an abortion that she's going to carry it.
If her religious
more
values,
power to you.
She believes in that, then fine.
But someone who doesn't, and it's like, well, and here's the thing too, her religious values. Okay, her religious values may not be the values of all women who are impregnated through rape or incest. Like, if you look at the Jewish religion, they are not against abortion. If you look at people who are non-religious, they are not against religion. Why do the Christians get to enforce their religious beliefs on the rest of us who live in this country? This is what I do not understand.
Yeah. And
religious freedom.
It also leads to what happened in Texas with that it was a 26-year-old who had a miscarriage. She goes to the hospital and they charged her because they thought that she tried to abort the child herself. You heard about that story?
Mm-hmm. And they have since dropped the charges. Yes.
But how horrific is it? Could you imagine she has a miscarriage and I think her husband, she was splitting up with her husband at the time too, or something like that, or whatever. The pain that she's going through, not only physically, mentally, and then you get charged for, I don't know what you charge them for. Is it murder? Is that what they charge her on?
Mm-hmm.
now you have that on top of you. Now you have that stress on top of everything else that's going on. I can't see what kind of hospital she went to that the medical workers report her in the first place.
Maybe it was a religious hospital.
It could be.
They're, especially when miscarriages are a common thing. Like, they happen more than people realize. And I look at miscarriage as that's the body's natural reaction of saying that
This
this
isn't
is
healthy.
this is not good for my, like, clearly she didn't do it herself, like her body did it. So
Yeah. Who thought that in...
what if she didn't have the mind body connection going, you know? Like, it's like, well, my mind, I wanted to have the baby, but my body had other plans. Like, what the fuck?
It's just mind-boggling in 2022 that we're still going through it. Like, not only are we not progressing, we're regressing.
There's
In a lot of
people, there's a lot of folks in power who want to take us, they want to be regressives, like they want to go back in time.
To make America great again.
Like, all I can say is, why can't you guys get working on inventing your time machine, go back in time, and stay there? And the rest of us will stay in the future, okay? You can go back and live there. And don't come back.
Yeah, where's Marty Doc when you need him? Dial that sucker up to 77 miles an
Where's
hour.
our DeLorean?
You know, speaking of going back in time, we got our first Chinese food since the pandemic.
Woo! Thanks, MJ.
Yeah.
And now
let's
we're
reread our
opening
fortune
our
cookies.
fortune cookies.
Hopefully it's not from MTG.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't do anything Chinese. Okay, this one isn't even funny.
Okay, what does yours say?
This is typical of my life, though. How about another fortune? Secondfortune.com.
No, you're reading the wrong side. Flip it over.
I didn't realize they did that. It's been a while since I had Chinese food.
Duh.
Really? No, I didn't realize that.
What are you going to read it?
Yeah, I'm going to read it. Okay. You have a natural grace and great consideration for others in bed.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
Mine is, you don't have to be perfect to fulfill your dream under the sheets. I always say under the sheets.
Chinese food. It's brave of us.
I know, it's pretty good.
It's a good thing that we've had, both of our shots and a booster so we can have Chinese food again.
Oh, I know.
And we've had COVID too. So we've got what's it?
Superpowers?
Quadfecta.
We have superpowers.
Yeah. Until the next one. I think it's coming up on time for us to get our next shot too.
Oh, yeah.
Get boosted again.
I know.
Well, anyways, so that ends this episode of Comedy is Dead, because we started off with dead comedians and then we ended up with a bunch of non-funny shit to talk about.
Right.
But thank
wah.
you for Marjorie for calling in. Call us anytime. We love to hear from you.
Yeah, thanks. We love your feedback, girl.
Yeah. Hate is going to hate. We won't cancel you, and we won't report you to the police. All right, y'all. We'll catch you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.